Happy Monday. How you doing? How was your weekend? Hope you had fun. Hope you stayed safe. We did. I guess Jabba had a good weekend. From what I hear, he spent most of it on YouTube. Did a shitload of live streams. One went even over 3 hours. And then he was patting himself on the back, putting up postings about, how many views he got on a live and congratulating himself. This guy really needs attention, I'm telling you. And a shot, kissing ass, thanking people for watching his videos. Keep watching, keep watching. He needs people. He's lonely. He's desperate. He's attention starved. I guess that's what happens when you have no friends, no family, and you're pretty much isolated, living in a city dump. The only thing you have to look forward to is the water outside around a fucked up car that's never going to go anywhere. Somebody says, hey, Brian. He even did one, man. He was getting aggravated because nobody was watching. So he was doing something to the guy. I forget what he told me. Was he washing it, sanding it? He's doing something. And he keeps looking and looking. How come nobody's here? How come nobody's watching me? I'm not surprised, but I'll tell you, man, it's like, how can anyone be that fucking attention starved that they resort to that just to get people to fucking watch them? Is that the only way he has any communication with people? It's on a live. I guess maybe when it's all you have, you're so dependent on it, things will bother you when you don't get the attention you want, Job, you gotta understand something, man. Forget about the internet. Let's take a look at life in general. There are going to be people that like you and people that don't. That's the way it is. You learn to accept things. It makes your life a lot easier. I know people don't like me. I know people talk shit about me. Do you really think I care? You ever see me go off on a fucking rant here because I heard, somebody said something about me in somebody else's video, and I don't give a fuck. Let them. If it makes them happy, let them. It doesn't affect me in the least. You get fucking rattled. You get more than rattled. You have the emotional stability of a bag of rats in a meth lab. You can't deal with things that's part of life. Oh yeah, I said yesterday, one of the other texts I didn't read, we put up a video talking about a little short, me and a few other people. He wanted to thank us for, putting his videos on our page. Page is Facebook. This is YouTube. It's called The Channel. A little something happened this morning when I checked some comments. If I can remember, I'll get to that at the end. And he's saying it all cocky and smug like, Jabba, all I can say is you're welcome. If it helped you, to take your house listing down for sale and foreclosure, if it helps that to happen, glad I could help you out. And I hope there's enough money left over so that you can buy a new starter for the Bel Air. Yeah, I know. People say, yes, cars, It's car. Are you making preparation to leave? Do you care about where you're going to live if you're going to be homeless? Well, anyway, I hope I was able to help save your home so they can take the for sale foreclosure listing down, that it is up for sale as a foreclosure. And there's enough money left over to buy a new starter for the Bel Air. Glad I could help. How much time did they give you that you got to be out? The last thing a bank wants is your house. They want their money. I think banks want to go through the process of having to resell a property. They don't do it themselves. They hire a realtor. A realtor's going to take their commission. And that's going to come off the top of the price of the home. And then you got to hope they got to hope that they can at least sell it for what is owed on it. And in a lot of cases, some banks and mortgage lenders take a loss. But there's only so much they can do. And foreclosures don't happen overnight. Like I said with that guy that I knew, he wasn't a friend, I knew him. Hey, how you doing? And that was about it. But he had gone well over a year, like with that renter that me and my brother had. It was, when everything was said and done, it was a little over a year and a half. And he kept getting chances. The courts try to be a little more lenient these days. Well, give the guy a break, And then it gets to a point where now the person runs out of chances. They just don't care. They just want to squat there as long as they can. And then it went to an official binding arbitration with the court. Okay, now that's it. You're out of chances. And I was, me and my brother, like, finally. We were kind of upset. In some ways, renters have more rights than property owners. They can get away with more. In some cases, people like you, that have a mortgage and they haven't paid on it in a very long time. And I'm quite sure you got a lot of chances along the way. You got the letters there, you're behind. You probably ignored it. You're not responsible. You call other people irresponsible and childish. I don't think there's anyone more irresponsible and childish than you. You don't know how to live. You don't even take care of yourself. That's why your health is a mess. Your finances are a mess. Your property's a mess. You created all that, not me or anybody else. You did all that all by yourself. It wasn't even one time somebody said, when someone said, you were getting foreclosed. Oh, no, they didn't foreclose. They restructured my mortgage. And then a few videos later, you're talking to you, crying the blues about, oh, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make my first mortgage payment now. You were buying shit for the Bel Air. Was that the beginning of the foreclosure? They don't happen overnight. There's a process, and banks, mortgage lenders, they have a legal team. They want to make sure they do it legally. And it takes time. And you've had a lot of time, and you've ignored it. Then they finally get to a point where they say, like, now we want this guy out. He's not paying us our fucking mortgage. That property's sitting there, and now we're going to take our chances and try to sell it for whatever we can to get something, because as of now, we're getting nothing from this guy. Then they put their foot down. They give you a deadline. They want to make sure, like in our case with renters, the courts, well, give them $5,000. That way, it's over and done with. Now there's no more of an excuse. Like, we heard, oh, I don't have any money for first and last. He didn't pay his rent for, it ended up being, a year and a half. He should have had some fucking money. What was he doing with it? Like in your case, what have you been doing with your money? You're not paying your mortgage. You've got to be doing something with it. Only you know that. And why should people even know all these things? Because you put it out here and talk about it. Like I said, man, you invite a shark to dinner, expect to get bit, and you ring the fucking dinner bell. You invite your problems. Then you got a thin skin, you can't handle the backlash, the repercussions. There are going to be people that like you and people that don't. I know people talk shit about me. You think I care? You do. That's the problem. Your problem is you. You are your own worst enemy in every way imaginable. Every problem you have in your life is created by you, by your behavior, your mentality. I'm tempted to say lack of mentality. So what was the timeline they gave you? You have 30, 60, 90 days? In this little offering, now it's finally like, now we got to put our foot down with this guy. So your house is listed for sale as a foreclosure. How much time did they give you? And even that, this is all worked out. So this way you can't come back and say this, that, oh no, this was handled through our legal team. They have a legal team. And now you have what can be considered a contract. Okay, listen, we're giving you this much time. We're going to give you this much money, and you got to be out. And even then, they don't have to give you any money. They can actually just boot you. But these days, they're being a little more lenient with people in areas that at one time of foreclosure, back in, I'd heard from old timers, back in the 50s and 60s, You know, you missed 3 mortgage payments and they were there with a 30-day notice. And if you weren't out, they were there with fucking movers and, you know, and they took you out and put your shit out in the fucking street. Tough luck, Chuck. You know, things are different these days. You should be grateful instead you abuse it. You ignore it. You don't care. And that's where it got you. So much time you have, 30, 60, 90 days. And even then, if you're not out at that time, then they will put you out. And then because you broke their binding contract with you and the terms and conditions of you leaving and receiving a payment, you might not even get that $5,000. They'll just put you out and say, that's it. How many more chances do you expect people to give you? You just want to skate through life being irresponsible, not paying your fucking bills? You know, is that what it's about? Now, one other thing. Check some comments this morning. I've seen it before. And I see a comment. I'm like, why the fuck is this guy leaving a comment on my video? When I look, before I even look, check. It's fucking clone. Somebody cloned someone else, even used their picture. Left a comment. I think I had one too many Uncle Brian lifters yesterday. Got the last of it for the weekend. Oh, look. Okay, sorry about that. That was a mean cough. In fact, last night I was on the phone with Will for a while after I had done my bonus video. I said, oh, I'll have one more Uncle Brian lifter to finish off the weekend, and I did. Probably shouldn't have. And we're talking about a few things. I don't know why people do that. I know there are people on here that have 3, 4, 5 accounts, you know. Most of them are faceless. Some name they come up with. You know, like this Joe Mad guy and others. Why do they do that? They just want to troll. You know I say things people don't like. I know people don't like me. It's okay, I can live with it. But you're seeing me, you're hearing me. I'm not, you know, Joe Blow or whatever. I don't make a single video. You don't know what I look like. You don't know what I sound like. And I just go around on people's channels trolling them. You know what I mean? These people need to remain anonymous. Why? What they're so afraid of? You know? Afraid of being criticized? I know damn well, you know, what's out on the internet is fair game for anyone. You can't deal with it. Maybe you don't belong on the internet. It's not for you. You should take up another hobby. You know? But yeah, somebody cloned someone and left a comment. It wasn't anything, you know. I guess he was trying to be funny. But I wonder why people do that. I'm me. You know who I am. One account. Even though I have been cloned by several people. It was funny. It was funny. Pretending to be me. I've been on Facebook, and man, can't remember how long. They made like 5 Facebook accounts. And Uncle Brian and Auntie Billy. Uncle Felix and Uncle Zeus. It was 4. And then you want to know what they did? They would send me a friend request to make sure that I knew that they had did it. I fucking laughed and ignored it. You know what happened? They went away. They didn't get the reaction they wanted. It's like with you, Jabba. People know you get all upset. I admit, you know, hearing about how you fucking melt down and you when your fits and your eyes popping out and you're angry, and I find it a bit amusing, you know. Maybe you need to be more boring. Who knows? But, yeah, somebody cloned my buddy, Big Woba. I'm not even going to try to guess who it is. I have better things, you know, to consider, to think about. But a lot of strange things goes on, you know. I guess you got your dose of attention this weekend. You spent a pretty good part of the weekend on YouTube. I guess you had nothing else to do and you accuse other people of not having a life. Need to get a life. What did you do over the weekend? I know what we did. Best part of my weekend was seeing my 2 grandsons, spending time with them. Who'd you spend time with? Sat around just cranking out video after video after video after video, doing live stream after live stream after live stream. Even getting upset because nobody was watching. It took a little while before people showed up. And then you were all happy. Like I say, you tell people that people are jealous of you, jealous of your car. What's there to be jealous of? I have had people say things to me. How do I put this? In your defense, if you want to call it that. Said, Brian, maybe you should feel sorry for the guy. Look at him. The guy's pathetic. The guy's pathetic. He can't even help himself. Doesn't know how. There's really something wrong with him. Maybe you should feel sorry for the guy. I'm not religious, so I can't pray for anyone, And I have thought about it. So, yeah. But your problem is you. Maybe if you ignore things would be better for you. But then again, that's your problem. You ignore things. That's why you're in the mess you're in now with your fucking house. Because you ignore things. The things you are fixated on is that Bel Air. That's all that matters to you. So what if I'm going to be homeless? So what if the day comes now and, like I said, how much time did they give you? 30, 60, or 90 days? So what if there's a day coming, I know your day of reckoning is coming, where you're going to no longer be able to put it off. And now the shit's going to hit the fan. It's going to come right back in your face. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? That's for you to figure out, not me. I have say and control over my life. Maybe that's something you should do. Maybe you'd be in a better situation, But hey, you can do what you want to do. One thing I would recommend, you get a thick skin, pal. You are too emotionally unstable. Your skin is too thin. You can't deal with criticism. In your delusional world, you want everybody to like you, everybody to tell you you're right, everybody to tell you that you know what you're doing with the car. And what you're putting out, that you're presenting and showing people visually is the exact opposite. You don't know what you're doing. You're not emotionally stable. You crave attention. And then you attack people. And you have fits of rage. That enough for a happy Monday? So that's all I have to say today. Okay, VTH tomorrow, so I'm going to be tied up. Probably catch up with you on Wednesday. See you then.